So I bought this on Amazon here a while back. It's a coffee and cake shop. And by luck, you gave me the same one for Valentine's.
Well, I knew you'd love it, so
Right.
we ended up having two of them.
There's two kits. So I decided to make this one as a birthday present for my daughter.
Nice.
So anyway, I started working on it, and I've added my own touches to accommodate a birthday present for my daughter, including a happy birthday Nicole sign.
Yeah, I don't think the Nicole sign would have come with the kit.
Not exactly, no. And of course, I've also added my own little touches. I follow the directions up to a point, but then I like to add my own touches.
Well, we all like to just throw the instructions away sometimes.
Right.
With these kits, I don't know if you could.
No, well, up to a point. But yeah, when it comes to the little accoutrement,
Yeah.
I decide to just do my own thing. And the tablecloth and the treats on the table, the salt and pepper shakers, those are all my ideas.
That's beautiful. It turned out really neat.
I think it turned out really wonderful, considering I was just having fits because parts of the kit was warped and I had a hard time. Now in the town of Mount Pleasant, there's a Dairy Queen that sits on the corner. It's been there for years, since the 50s. So you gave me this model to put together.
HO scale.
HO scale Dairy Queen.
It's so hard to work in this teeny, tiny scale.
Well, it usually is, but I had to make it look like the Dairy Queen in Mount Pleasant, Utah.
And it does.
Right, and of course, me and my full interior, I had to change it up a bit and put a full interior in there, including hamburgers.
Yeah, none of that came with the kit.
No, this is all my idea, the menu and everything.
That turned out really neat.
This is the hamburgers. You can see by my X-Acto knife just how teeny they are. And I used Sculpey clay.
Nice.
So the smoke is actually cotton strands pulled out, and the drinks are little seed beads. They're just that teeny. He's cooking away merrily. I can almost smell it.
Yeah. I love the stove and everything. It's just cool to put interiors in buildings.
Right.
And you don't see a lot of that in HO scale because, I mean, just zooming in on it, you can see the picture goes to bits because everything's just so tiny here.
Right. Just a little itty bitty. So years ago, there was a picnic area between the Dairy Queen and the building next door, which was an optometrist. But gradually through the years, that's all been filled in, and it's now an inside eatery.
And I've eaten inside there many times.
Right, but I remember that picnic area, and that was fun because there was no inside eating. Oh, here's a friend of ours. Years ago, he was a Saint Bernard named Bruno that was the pet of Mount Pleasant, and he would come to that Dairy Queen and beg for food scraps.
Well, of course, he's a doggy. That's what they do.
Right.
It's really fun that you put him in your model.
Yeah, such a fun memory. So this is one kit I bought solely because of the little tiny twin lens Rolleiflex camera.
Yeah, we both have fond memories of twin lens Rolly.
Right, let alone one that teensy, but I decided to buy the kit and then do it according to my taste, which I made some modifications on the Twin Flex Rolly, the camera case. I actually made a better looking camera case.
It turned out great.
And I made the little anniversary clock and put a glass dome on that. And the picture frame, if you'll notice on the back, I made it look like an actual picture frame with the correct stand and everything. So I really liked the typewriter, but again, I wasn't happy with the way it came from the factory, if you will. So I added my own touches, including the turn handle and the return lever and the paper clip and everything like that to hold the type paper in place. And of course, I like to add realism, the disheveled shelves and letters strewn all over the place, the book in the chair, because that is real life. These books are actually real little books that come with the kit that have to be folded, and they even have pages. They're just folded back and forth accordion style, but it makes a little book.
I wouldn't want to try reading one.
No, they're tough enough to make considering their size is about 1/2 inch. And then the camera, that was kind of a trick. I wanted to make it look realistic, so I actually made chrome circles around the lenses and then the little rings where the camera case would have fit against the lenses.
You need to keep in mind how absolutely tiny this thing is.
Right, it's like smaller than my pinky fingernail. So the whole thing is about 4 by 4 at the base and then about 6 inches tall.
Wow, just teeny.
Just very small.
And it lights up, it's got batteries, everything. It's just beautiful.
Oh, these things are fun. But the biggest thing I've been working on are these coffee shops, because we ended up, like I say, with 2 of them. This one we completed and decided to give to my daughter for her birthday, but it needed a case to display it in, and we had to look high and low for a decent case to put it in.
Turned out great. I love this case.
It did, and it was really a lot of fun to give it to her for her birthday. We were eating out at a restaurant, and it was just interesting to see all the people that come over to look at this.
Yeah, as soon as you walked in the restaurant with it, the heads are turning all over the place.
Right, and our waiter, he actually ended up moving us to an even bigger table. I warned her, I said, get a big table, but we had to have even a bigger table to put this on.
Yep.
These models are just filled with the tiniest little details anyway, and so my idea is to always add my own touches. The salt and pepper shakers, they are my own touch. They're just little clear tubes with a seed bead top. And of course the strawberries, and I added some extra whipped cream and things. But now I'm starting on kit number 2, and this is the one you gave me for Valentine's.
I'm really shocked that the quality of these things is, well...
Yes, it leaves a lot to your imagination, and boy, what am I going to do with that?
I mean, it's one thing to have a difficult kit because it's got a lot of small parts and stuff, but these are difficult kits because they're so haphazard.
Right, this has got to be the worst piece I've ever seen. Buy a kit and you have pieces in it that's that bad.
That's just ridiculous. That is just absolutely
And at first I thought it was just because the other kit, it was like that in the other kit, but no. I mean, this piece is fine.
Yep.
And that one's a mess. So it just doesn't even have to even...
But even the milling
it's horrible.
is just dreadful.
I mean, this one's smooth and this one's all...
It's just absolutely dreadful.
Boy, I was really glad that piece wasn't warped. In the first kit, this piece was warped so badly I wasn't sure it was going to fit on there. This makes up the second story, the ceiling part of the downstairs, and the floor of the upstairs part. It's just a piece of wood, but look how badly that is.
That's really just
nicks and grooves. Look at that piece of scrap lumber they just painted it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it will show, some of it won't. There's another piece that will go on top of it, but still,
Yeah.
it's still better than that.
No, that's dreadful.
Now, to apply the paper that you cut out for the floor decals, if you will, I use this fast cap double stick tape. I learned early on not to use glue because it will dry wrinkly and then it would cause this hardboard to warp even worse than it already is.
We go through tons of this tape.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love it because you don't have to wait for anything to dry.
Yeah, and we've just got a permanent thing set up on Amazon.
Yep.
Fast cap double stick tape. But
Right.
we've tried a lot of different double stick tapes, and this has the unique advantage that it works.
Yes, it's a little hard to get it started. Sometimes it sticks so well, but boy, once it's down, it's down. So this isn't really an expensive item, but I find that it works so well in tight areas.
Boy, does this stuff work.
Now the instruction booklet, well, I use that simply as a guide. They always want you to build the small things first, but I worry about losing them. So I start in the middle and start with the structure itself and follow that right to the wire, literally, except for wiring. And I discovered with the first one, it would be best to come up with my own ideas on the second one as far as putting wiring in. But everything is here, and you just follow the instructions, cut the papers out, and apply it to the different boards that come with the kit. Assemble the little teeny stuff first, and I don't because I don't. So some of the plans are a little bit difficult to follow because they've obviously been translated from another language into English. So on the walls, I like to use Mod Podge to stick the wallpaper on. I find that if I use a brush and Mod Podge that it's it goes on smoother. There's not as many wrinkles. At first it will wrinkle a little bit, about scare you to death, but if you dry it on a good flat surface, it straightens right out.
Do you find that it wants to warp back toward the glue side?
Not as bad because these sides have two papers, so I'm applying a side with Mod Podge and flipping it over and applying more Mod Podge. What I find is a problem is if the one side has to remain dry, such as on the floor, where the reverse side has nothing on it.
So that's a good place to use
Right.
the double stick tape.
Exactly. This sort of balances out with moisture, so if you dry it on a good flat surface, even put a book on top of it, let it dry, it won't warp anything. So another product I go through, like tons of it, I swear I should buy stock in the company, is cyanoacrylic glue, or what we would call crazy glue. This one is one I buy at the local train shop that's a gel, and so it's a little bit thicker. But I like to use that on these more stubborn pieces because I can apply a bead of that, put the wood pieces together in the position I want, and it'll grab right a hold and hold tight.
Well, between the two of us, we do go through 55-gallon drums of this
Seriously, I should buy stock in it. It's always a challenge to work with any kind of window material, clear or otherwise. Usually my favorite thing is to leave a big fingerprint on it, if not trace glue clear across it. Getting some wire in ahead of time before I get it put together, because it's really hard to go around these little corners if you don't.
Fun.
Yes.
Pre-wiring.
Pre-wiring this one.
I like the way you can hide it in the wallpaper.
Well, that's just an idea I've just had. After doing the first one, there was a lot of mistakes that I made, and the way they tell me to do it in the instructions, I don't want the wires to show. So
change it up.
I changed it up. That's the first light. I test everything.
It's always a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you might get it all together, and
then,
yeah, but I just have my little test batteries. Dirty hands, I got glue all over. That's part of modeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If your hands are clean, you're not doing it right.
That's right. Not
Sweet.
getting fully involved.
Sweet. It's gonna be nice.
So all of these little kits come with some completed little accents and whatnot, and this one has a Victrola. But I was not happy. It looked like a chunk of plastic, so I'm actually adding some wood veneer to it to make it look more realistic.
Sweet. So the wood graining is...
It's just that paper thin wood graining. I just
Got
got
it.
it in another kit, but I just got thinking I wanted to do that because it'll make it look better.
It's neat.
My favorite thing is building these little tiny lamps that are supposed to go in the kit. They are just a ton of fun. The instructions tell you how to fold the paper shade and put fabric on it, and the little gilded edge, which I use the super glue, and just make sure everything's fastened down really tight on the lampshade.
It looks like the body of it's just made out of beads or something.
Right, and then the body, the main body of the lamp, you have that comes with wiring. It's just a little LED light on a string, and it tells you how to thread on all these little jewelry beads in such an order it creates a lamp base. So now to test it, see if it's going to work.
Yeah, put some
Yeah.
power to this guy and let's see what happens.
I test everything as I go along. So I trust
I
it.
like your little button battery tester.
Well, yeah, I've got a bunch of these that I've had from other models, so let's
So is this LED or light bulb? Oh, there it is.
LED.
So you have to keep the polarity straight.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the second one is moving along nicely. I'm progressing. I had a lot of lessons learned with the first one that I assembled.
That's cool.
Yes, I did a little bit of different things, like the spoons are just craft wire, and then I just pinched down the end for the spoon part. This wasn't part of the kit. And so I even put an engagement ring inside of the macaroons.
That looks, you just barely can see it there.
Right, it's a jump ring from a piece of jewelry. And again, the strawberries and all of that, they're part of the kit. They're fun to slice off from a little log that they're made out of.
I look at this and I want to go to the coffee shop.
I know. I just, to me, these are just like having a mini vacation to put these together. I get a great sense of joy and accomplishment making these.
I wish we could add the smell of coffee.
Yeah, I've got to figure out a way to do that. It should smell like coffee and pastries.
I like the stained glass. Your technique for doing stained glass.
So I love stained glass windows, and I come up with a method on how to make those just using packing tape, and then you just go on the internet and find a picture of a stained glass window that you like. I apply the packing tape to the printed picture of the stained glass and just pull it off really quick. Make sure it's fastened down really well. Leave an end up on the tape and just pull it off really fast. Side two, I just need to get a little bar in. I haven't done that yet. But it shows from the other side as well.
Very nice, yeah. Yeah, this is turning out great.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Mm-hmm. That cake looks so good. That cake turned out so nice. I'm hoping I can duplicate that or at least bake one for real.
Yeah, because I want some.
Oh, man. Love birthdays.
Love birthdays. Well, these are both turning out so darn cool. This is a great project. You've made so many of these kinds of things, but
Right, and I'll tell you what, if you try to make one of these, start with something small first, because on a level of easy to difficult, it's difficult.
well, if you haven't been over to the channel, do pop over to the channel.
Right.
And if you're not a subscriber, then you want to be a subscriber. And the easy way to do that is with the upcoming blue button right there.
There it is.
Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here on Tuesday, because we got something fun in mind. Bye-bye.
Bye.